Hey guys, another boring live stream here. No um, theatrics or whatever. I'm just trying to figure out how to set up and also Gitlab on the new Mac. So let's just get right into it. So nothing fancy here. This is first time I've ever used Docker. First time, well, I've used Macs, you know, I've never owned one. I used them in what, 1999. Company that I worked for we had G4s. It was really powerful machines back then. Since then, I only use Macs at the Google office. They have the Mac Pros, whatever they're called, really expensive $3,000, $4,000 workstations that look like trash cans. But anyway, so now I'm officially using this MacBook Pro. But I gotta get Docker set up. So let me give you guys what the perspective is. So basically, I need set up a local Gitlab environment. Let's leave it at that. I need to set up a Gitlab environment. Python code. So basically, my thought process of what I'm thinking about doing is I want to set up a Linux environment. So I guess maybe Ubuntu. So my understanding of Docker seems to be sort of like a virtual machine type of thing. Virtual machine on steroids, because it's not just an empty container where, imagine a virtual drive, an empty drive, virtual empty drive, and a virtual. So it's an empty drive, so you can put whatever you want on it. So I can go grab a Windows operating system, files or Linux or whatever it is, install it in this virtual drive. I can do so because, again, I have access to a virtual machine. So you install on the drive, and then you actually do like a virtual boot up, and then from that virtual boot up, you are able to go through the whole installation, just as if it's a real computer, but it's really not. It's all simulated. It's all software, right? But Docker, from my understanding, takes it up a notch, because with Docker, in addition to that, you also have the instead of just a blank drive, you also have sort of, let's call it images. If you're familiar with the concept of images, where you have, I can set up an environment that I'm going to be working in. I can install all the relevant applications and everything where that's going to be needed, and then in the future, someone doesn't have to go and replicate everything that I did. They can just simply, install the image. The image has all of the relevant files and basically everything that you need is all there. Drivers, whatever it is. So that's kind of the idea. So with Docker, not only would I, well, this is my understanding, out and finding an operating system and then setting it up and then getting all the drivers and all the relevant things. All I would do is I would sort of pick an image that's relevant. So if I want a Linux environment, set up with certain, I could somehow select that. I guess another good comparison, if you're familiar with even Linux in general, right? I can install Linux as a base installation, and then I can go and I can add packages to it. So I'll leave it at that. So let's get into this. So what I'm going to do, one second. Hey Nick, how you doing? Hmm. Bear with me one moment. Bear with me one moment. Setting up. So it's interesting. On the Mac, they have sort of a shell, but I'm not sure really what it is. I mean, if Linux commands are working, I do uname -a. It says Darwin version. Darwin. I mean, obviously I could Google Darwin, but Darwin tends to be almost like a. It's not Linux, but it's based on a Linux kernel. I'm not sure. Darwin. What is Darwin? Darwin Mac is composed of code developed by Apple, so it's Apple. So it is Apple stuff. I'm assuming based on Linux, but developed by Apple, as well as code derived from Next Step, BSD, Mac, and other free software products. Darwin forms the core set of components upon which the Mac OS, previously known as OS X and Mac OS X, iOS, and tvOS are based. So it says it's an operating system. Darwin is an open source Unix. Okay, there we go. It's an open source Unix operating system released by Apple in 2000. It is mostly POSIX compatible, but has never by itself been certified as compatible with any version of POSIX. Starting with Leopard, macOS has been certified as compatible with single Unix specification version 3. Well, there you have it. And now, let's change my prompt. How to change prompt in Darwin. The echo or PS1 variable doesn't appear to be set in this environment, so I couldn't set it. I did the PS1 equals, and then it's just not registering it. Actually, that's incorrect. It apparently doesn't like my syntax because PS1 equals hello. All right, bear with me 1 second. I gotta be. Just want to change my prompt before I share the desktop, and then we can get into this Docker nonsense. Bash. Change prompt escapes. So I see /h/w. Try typing. Oh, so it does support PS1. Echo PS1 in your shell. The text you see is a string coded with the display settings for your shell prompt. It might look something like this. In this example, the H represents the host computer, W, the working directory, and U, the current user. So what if I say $, let's see, $PS1. Should I even have $ in here? Am I doing something silly? Let's see. Oh, terrific. I'm setting the variable, not calling the variable, so there's no reason why I have a $ in there. So the proper syntax to change a prompt is just like you would in a PS1 equals, and then I can say CPU squad, and that, and boom. Look at that. All right, folks. Let me share. Let's share the screen and let's get going, because I got to get out of here. It better be, because I have a lot of things to do today. Thanks for the likes. Appreciate it. Where is my share screen thingamajig? What is this thing? I'm still getting used to this Mac. It's a little great. What do I do now? Wonderful. completely lost what I was just looking at. It's a little funky. I'll do a formal video talking about it. It's a little learning curve going on there. Okay, some weird things happen. Where is searching for? There it is. Okay, my other window. Now let's go to share. Let's share the screen too. Okay. All right. So Docker is installed here. Docker for Mac. Here's my shell. This is the native shell that the Mac comes with. Gives me access to the Darwin operating system. As you can see, I've changed the prompt. You can see that's the command that I use to change the prompt, just like what on the Linux box. So now I'm reading online. There's an article about how to I gotta find the thing I was reading. So many windows open right now. Okay, install Docker. Remove images and containers. Okay, so let me actually show you guys what I'm looking at. Let's see if I can tear this tab out and bring it up here. So this is what I'm looking at here. So it says, okay. I'm going the wrong way here with the mouse. How to use Docker for development. Let's start with very simple hello world example in Ruby. You don't even need to install, you don't need Ruby installed to run this. Copy the code below and put it in a file called hello RB, and then run it. So again, I'm learning this myself, so I don't really know how this works, but my interpretation of what this is saying is somehow I'm able to magically run this command without actually even setting up Ruby. So logically, this command must reference in its arguments some kind of Ruby virtual environment. So somehow I'm telling Docker to run this in a Ruby environment. I guess that's the iron/Ruby. So that's interesting. So you're telling me command line only, I can run this command. Again, without installing Ruby, I can sort of almost create a virtual environment with a command line, just as a command line, as a one-liner, no setup required. So I don't know. That's what it looks like to me. Let's test it out and see. So I'm going to create a file. I created a directory to do development work. So let's test that out. So I am in dev. So let's go to, well, I'm in a dev directory right now. Let's use vim. Let's not do it here. Let's say my usual directory structure. Brain. Brain for brainstorm, by the way. That's why I do that. And let's do education. Okay, so I'm in the education folder. So let's do a directory to learn Docker. How about that? Docker. So let's see Docker. All right, so now I'm going to just create some file. So let's, vim I believe works here. So let's call it, I'll just call it the same name that they called it, just for simplicity's sake. So let's say hello.rb, right? And in this file, I need to just copy this command that they have here. So the paste works. Well, not quite, but not sure what just happened there. Let's try that again. So copy and paste. Okay, I don't know what just happened a second ago. So here is the file. It has in there that one line. And now supposedly I can run it with this. I'm a little bit skeptical right now that this is just gonna work. This is really, really crazy. Because again, just to illustrate, this is a brand new Mac Pro. All I did is install Docker. I didn't install Docker with certain packages or options. This is just a plain Docker installation. I did nothing Ruby specific. I did not do anything Ruby specific. I did not select install all environments or anything of that sort. This should be just a plain vanilla Docker setup with nothing in it. So based on that, this command, I feel like it's not going to work. But that's of course maybe because I just don't know how Docker works. But let's see what happens. So here it is. That's the command they say to run. Let's examine this command a little bit. So they're saying, so Nick says, Mac looks cool. So glad you figured out how to pop out live chat. It's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. Docker run. So obviously, we're passing an argument called run to Docker. So in some ways, for the Python folks, I guess I could consider run. I mean, yeah, run would be an argument, but I could also consider run to be like a class as well. I think you could probably consider it. What I mean by that is with a class, you have certain things that you can do. So in this case, I can do an rm-v and send these arguments to it and all this kind of mumbo jumbo. But regardless, so I'm calling the Docker. I'm using Docker, and I'm calling its run function. I'm sending these options rm-v. I'm sending $present working directory. So I think that's saying to run a command in this directory. I'm assuming that's the syntax, $pwd and parentheses. I'm just guessing. :app /app -w, another option. Then /app again. This time it passes iron /ruby. And then sh-c. So I'm not really sure what all that does, but let's run it. That's what happens. Docker command not found. Okay, so Docker may need to be installed in Darwin. I mean, we have Docker installed here in the, I'm just going to call it the GUI environment, but this may not translate to the shell. So how do we install Docker on Darwin is the question. Let's see if we can find that out. How to install Docker in Darwin. So you're running a Ruby program inside a Docker instance. I guess that's what this command is trying to do, but we're going to find out. So how to install Docker in Darwin. Install Docker CE for binaries. Get started with Docker for Mac. Not install Docker for Mac. Please install Docker for Mac. Why you can't install Docker natively in OS? Foundation layer. First, get started with Docker for Mac. Let's see. Let me look up Darwin. So there's a command. Well, obviously, it's not here. So we do Docker --version. If it was installed, it tells a version. So the question is, how do we get Docker here? Docker compose. I'm going to do something really crazy right now. No, I can't. I'm going to do Docker install, but that's dumb. I need some kind of package manager software, obviously, to install. So let me look up Darwin. Darwin. How do we install Docker in Darwin? Or maybe it's not intended to be used in this manner. But then where would we type this command? Because this is showing us a command here. And these are actually instructions we're looking at. So the instructions should tell us where we can run this. So let's start by copy the code below and put it in a file called. Okay, now run it. But where am I typing this command? Where am I typing this command? I don't understand. With GitHub view, am I supposed to run this in? Where do I run this? I love when people give tutorials and instructions and they miss out key details. Copy the code below and put it in a file. Now run it. Where do you run it? Where do you type this? It doesn't tell you. It completely doesn't tell you where to run this. So I now waste time trying to figure that out when it could have been right here. You know, open your such and such window, open a terminal, and then type this command. It just says now run it. Run it where? You're just going to randomly type it anywhere? I mean, that's kind of a key detail. So now let's see, running Darwin. Let's see, install Docker. Wait a minute, do I run it in the Docker? Is this a command line? Let's see, it says next. I didn't do this. Docker needs privileges to access. So let's see, maybe within the Docker itself, there is a command line interface. Okay. Oh, I think that's what it is. We might have figured it out. I think you're running the command inside of Docker. That's what we're missing. Docker in itself. So it says Docker is starting. It's telling me to hang on. Docker is now up and running. Okay, so this is up and running. Open your favorite terminal and start typing Docker commands. Wait a minute, so I have to start it up first? Will Docker now work? Wow, look at that. Look at that, Nick. So this is integrated right into my Darwin environment. Screen, but I have in my system tree on the Mac, there's a drop-down window that says Docker's now up and running, and it says open your favorite terminal and start typing Docker commands. This is actually really, really intuitive. Now, the instructions weren't that clear, but it's simply telling me exactly what to do. Open your terminal and start typing Docker commands, and there you go. That's all I did. By me clicking on next, so I guess when you start Docker, you have to actually click next or whatever to actually initialize this. I guess is the idea. It's linked up directly with your Darwin or whatever terminal, according to what it says. Any terminal it'll work with. So now that I have this Docker, so now let's see, does this command now work? All right. Let's go and run that command. I'm able to find image Iron Ruby latest locally. Latest pulling from Iron Ruby. Pulling FS layer, pulling, downloading. So it's pulling some stuff down. Wow. Wow, did you see that? This is actually pretty cool. It did it. So I gotta fully understand what's happening here, but this is actually pretty cool. So I was a little bit skeptical that this would work. It worked, but in the beginning it complained. It said unable to find image Iron Ruby latest locally. Okay, so I'm gonna interpret this and say that it first checked to see if I had the images already installed. And I guess if it was there, it would use it. But when it did the check, it saw that I didn't have it installed. And this Iron might be, I don't know if it's Ruby specific or this is where the images are stored. So maybe it's like Iron Ruby, Iron Python. We're gonna find out. I'll try to run a Python thing and see what happens. But regardless, it appears to be looking at Iron Ruby for for the Ruby code, didn't find it. So it said, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and pull it down from, its repository or whatever. So it says pulling from Iron Ruby. I'm assuming it's sort of like GitLab, where there's a remote Iron Ruby. There's a local one, which would be on my machine, and it didn't find it. So when it says pulling from Iron Ruby, I mean, obviously I wouldn't be pulling from my system. So it's probably pulling from the remote Iron Ruby, which is, wherever the Ruby code or images are stored at the Docker website. So it finds it and it pulls down 3 components. I'm not sure what they are. It's interesting, the naming here. It's like, so it pulls down 1, 2, 3 things. Then it says digest, and you see a bunch of numbers again. Looks very encrypted. Let's see if there's a pattern here. 3690. Is that number here as well? I do not see it. So these numbers look to be completely different. I'm not sure why it's in this encrypted format. Then it says status downloaded newer image for Iron Ruby latest Hello Ruby. Test my theory. Let's try to run this command again. I'm assuming it's just going to work. It's not going to complain and say unable to find image. It's not going to say pulling whatever. It's not going to do all this stuff. I'm thinking if I run this command again, the very next line, it's going to say Hello Ruby, if my theory is correct. So let's test it out and see. So I'm going to run the command again. Let's actually clear the screen. Well, yeah, let's clear it. Keep it clean. Run it again. Yeah, perfect. That's exactly what it does. I'm going to try something crazy here. This is totally insane what I'm doing, but I just want to see something. What if I just type in Python? I mean, a lot of this stuff could be Ruby specific, some of these options. But, this is how you learn. Give it a shot, can't hurt. So I'm just going to run this and see what happens. And obviously this is not a Python script, but let's just see. Wow. Look what it's doing. It's probably pulling down Python. Ruby not found. So because I put Ruby in here. I should say Python, not Ruby. Get updated properly. Let's see what happens now. So this time, following my theory again, it's not going to say all this stuff. It's just going to go and give me an error message because the code is not Python code. So it's going to be like syntax error. That's my guess. That's my guess. I don't know what it's going to do. Let's see. Python not found. Python not found. Huh. Python not found. Let me see something. This app directory, what is that about? So let's see. App. Is there an actual app directory? No, there's not an app directory. Iron Ruby. Is there a Docker directory? All right, I don't want to kill time. I gotta actually get going. So let's get focused again. Nick, I'm not sure what that means. Really not sure what that means. But what I do need to do is I need to. How do I? So I kind of figured out how Docker works. Now I need to. I would assume I need to install Gitlab. I need to clone a directory. So let's look up how to clone Gitlab. So Gitlab clone to Darwin. I need to set up a. Let's see what else this tutorial has for us. Let's see, Ruby. It should print hello world, easy peasy. This is really the magic command you'll use for everything. Now let's add a dependency just to show how rendering dependencies work so you can run it inside a container. Okay, Docker run. Web apps. Ruby example, get your dependency jar files in your working directory. Compile it to container. How do you use Gitlab with Gitlab and Docker? How do you use these together? Gitlab Docker images. Let me think for a second. So I need to clone. I need to basically download a bunch of files from GitLab into the Darwin environment. How do I do that? I mean, I guess GitLab for Mac. Command line, so GitLab for Mac is what I need, because this is how you would do it on a Mac, right? GitLab plus Mac plus clone. Start using Git on command line. Git is usually pre-installed on Mac and Linux. Type the following. So let's just see that out of curiosity. Let's see, Git. Git Atom. So Atom has a Git installed. So Atom is the using. I just started using. I guess it comes with its own Git. Git and GitHub. Git. Do I need to download Git? Okay, so I guess to get software, I go to the App Store on the Mac. So let's look for Git. Simple Git server, Git status, Git bot. So much Git stuff here. How do I pick out what I need here? This is a mess. Git, snail Git, Git client, snail Git, Git client. Menu bar Git, simple Git server, kaleidoscope, master Git developer tools, heads on display. I think I'm gonna go with this guy. Snail Git. So Snail Git Lite, Git client Finder, Git client with Finder integration. Finder Snail allows you to access most frequently used Git features via Finder context menu. I'm gonna have to continue this another time because I gotta get going. Am I installing this stuff in my? Git should really be I guess obviously there's some tutorials I need to make. What you guys are watching right now is exactly why I do the tutorials that I do. You know, so other people, because this is what you guys end up doing when you're trying to figure stuff out. It's like information's all over the place. Some stuff is incomplete. You know, these are very simple things I'm trying to do. You know, it'd be nice to have a nice, clean step-by-step. That's why I do the videos, because I want you guys to avoid having to go through this. Like right now, I just want to do a simple thing real quick and get out of here. But, you know, I'm Googling and all over the place. Start using Git on the command line. Okay, let's see what this says. Start using Git on the command line. Open a shell. So this might be something. Let's see. Open a shell. Check if Git has already been installed. All right, let's try this. This looks nice. This looks nice. All right, so let's do this. So let's see if we can fit both of these on the screen. And try to run this. All right, Nick, here we go. So it says, why my terminal is so big. Scroll up. Okay, so it says, I guess I can do the Git version or whatever. Let's see what it said. Git version. So Git --version. So we have Git installed already. I'm trying to install stuff. It's already here. So you should receive a message. Add Git username. Add your Git username and set your email. Okay. Let's see if I can do that. I think I'm already in the Git environment. Okay, so I'm going to set up my Git username, I guess. So let's see. Git username. So I'm not really sure. Global user.name. User.name. Do I have to use this @ symbol? I see there's an @ symbol in here. The username is weird. It looks like there's an @ symbol in there. I don't know. Am I supposed to type that in? Is that part of the username? It's weird. Why is there an @ symbol in the username? I don't know. So git config -- global, and then okay, and then username. Why is there a username again in parentheses? I guess I can type whatever. Your _ username. Why is it in parentheses like that? Then verify that you have the correct username. Git config -- global user.name. Okay, I'm not really sure what I'm doing here. I mean, it didn't ask me for a password or anything, so I'm following the instructions. Set your email address, type the following command. All right, I'll do that. Just type that in. Control V. Well, that works. Nice. Okay. I gotta get out here, guys. This is taking way too long. So let's try. Verify your email correctly. Type in this command. Okay. Got it right. So far, so good. Oh, I messed that up. Messed it up. I'm just typing in those commands you see there. Okay. I'm supposed to type in this command here. Let's see what happens. Okay, I really don't know what I'm doing here. This just seems really weird. Check your information. Go to the branch, go to the master branch to pull the latest changes from there. Git checkout master. I don't know, I just feel like this is not, it's like I'm doing this wrong or something. I don't understand what I'm doing right now. Not a Git repository or any parent directories. Yeah, this is not making sense. So I mean, basically it appears that I'm doing is I'm setting up like my configuration. I just put my email in there and my username, but no password. Why would I mean, I got to get authenticated. Why is there no password step? And then I do this command. This gives me an error message that says, not a Git repository or any parent directories. So I don't understand. Am I missing something? I did exactly what they said. She did the Git version. After you finish, open a new shell and type in Git version again to verify as user credit. Or to configure Git username and email address as every Git commit. Nick says, this has been pretty informative. It's really relaxing watching someone learn and experiment. I often face the same headaches going through tutorials. Yep, that's why I exist. That is why my channels exist, to eliminate this. So obviously, once I get this figured out, I'll break it down into a format that makes sense. Because this doesn't make any sense. Like, what is going on here? You gotta just don't let it get to you. You know, it's frustrating, but just keep going. You'll figure it out. This is just how it is when you're learning, and you're not learning from somebody like myself. Anyway, okay. Tooting my own horn. Thanks, Nick. This is exactly why I exist, because this is really, really bad. All right, so what am I missing here? So I did all the steps. Git version, add your Git username. Master. This makes no sense, because how can I check anything out? Again, there has to be authentication. I can't just check stuff out. This stuff is secure. I can't just information. I'm following these steps, but this information that's provided here, that it's saying to provide, your username and your email, that's not enough to give you access to anything. So when you do a Git checkout, what are you checking out? Makes no sense. The master branch to pull latest changes from there. Maybe I'm supposed to actually type in the name of an actual branch, and then it will. That doesn't make any sense. I don't know. Just the domain, it might be able to link that up with where this stuff is, and then prompt me for a password. So maybe it's not supposed to be literally master. Maybe it's supposed to be the name of the repository. But then the error message, what did it say? It said, what's the error message I got? It said, not a Git repository or any of the parent directories. not a Git repository. See, maybe that's what it's saying. It's saying master is supposed to be the name of the repository, and it's like, I don't know master. So just the error is not very clear. It didn't say not master is not a Git repository. It just says not a. What's not? It just says not a repository. The question is, what is not a repository? It doesn't tell you. I'll show you the error message. So this is what I'm getting. I'll type it in the search bar. So that's what it says. I don't know why the N. Well, I didn't. That's my fault. Didn't highlight the N. It's not a Git repository or any of the parent directories. Go to the actual Git. Let me go to the actual repository that I'm trying, that I would need to pull from. Okay, so here it is. So let me see what the name of this thing. Master. So in Gitlab, which I cannot show you unfortunately because it's not for public consumption. I am in gitlab.domain / I guess a folder name / another folder name. So it's like I'm in a directory. So I'm in the gitlab.domain.com into two levels in terms of a directory structure. So there's like a root directory and then there's a subdirectory. And then below I see there's a drop down called master. There's a bunch of branches underneath master. So maybe that's the master. So let me try that. I'm going to type in what it says next to master. Something up in the future once I figure this out, so I'll be able to show you everything. I can't show you this stuff. This is not for public consumption. But when I set something up for a tutorial, I will create a repository that's public or whatever that I can show you. But I'm going to change my command. Instead of saying master, I'm going to try to type in a name of this. Let's see if that does it. That didn't work either. Let me see something. So these directions are no good. This does not work. Just out of curiosity, I'm gonna try this as well. It does. I don't know if that's gonna do it or not. So it's name of the branch. Not sure what the name is. Name. I mean, not that I understand. I just see directories. Nope. Nope. Does not work. These directions are no good. Remote. Origin. Name of branch could be master or existing branch. Remote equals origin. Okay, so remote is supposed to be like the actual, I guess, the name of the repository. I'm gonna put. Let me see if I can find an actual example, because this is not literal. This is like, I want to see an actual, so I can get the syntax. Remote repository, that is, okay, let's see the actual command. Working with remotes. See, look at these commands. We're missing a step. This is not configured properly. Those directions did not show us how to set. Like I said, there's authentication, security. I've got to configure somehow specific access to the repository. I haven't done that. All I've done is typed in a username and an email. Like, that's not enough. Because look at this. This is like, it's just saying git fetch origin. Origin is the name of the repository. So this makes sense to me. So if I have a repository called origin, just simply typing get fetch will grab it. That's assuming that the environment is set up where it already knows how to access the repository. So this is post configuration. So I've already configured the system so it knows where everything is. And now I'm just saying, hey, go there and get this stuff. But it needs to know where there is. Where is origin? What is that? How will it know where origin is? So somehow there's a way to tell. I don't understand how these instructions don't include that. This is from Git's own website. Start using Git on the command line. We didn't miss anything. We're following exactly what it says. Let me go through this again. Maybe try something. One small change. Okay. What is it supposed to be? User.name. And also, the other thing that was confusing is the @ There's an @ symbol in Gitlab. I'm supposed to include that in my actual username? All right, so let me try that. I'm going to add the @ symbol. I don't know if that's how this works, but let's do that. Invalid key. Doesn't like that. I don't get it. This is really bad. What environment? Is this for the wrong environment? Depending on, you will need to show. Here are some suggestions. Terminal. Introduction to macOS command line. Is this Git specific, or is it just like no, this is just how to do command line stuff. Okay, so this is an absolute failure, and this is killing my time. I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here. GitLab, GitLab, GitLab. GitLab. Let's see, Mac. Let's see, no, GitLab, Mac, setup. Clone. We don't want to use the GitLab documentation because they suck. Installing GitLab on Mac OS. Install command line tools and Homebrew. Why are we installing Homebrew? Why are we installing Homebrew? What is Homebrew? GitLab is a self-hosted Git management software. Not only that, but it's free and open source. Focused on Ubuntu Debian, and not all those instructions carry over to OS X. Is that why? You see what they just said? Brilliant installation guide. It's focused on Ubuntu Debian. So maybe that's why. So after a bit of tinkering, I put together this guide for anyone else looking to run GitLab. See, this is probably what we need. But these instructions will most likely work on the okay. Requirements. GitLab team suggests at least Install command line tools and Homebrew. You don't have Homebrew installed. Let's see Homebrew. What is Homebrew? Homebrew. So apparently I don't have Homebrew installed, so let's go ahead and install that. I don't want music. All right, let's go to the App Store. Oh, that's iTunes, duh. Why would I go to iTunes to install software? A Windows guy, Homebrew, Homebrew. Okay. This does not look right. Is it because there's a space in there? Homebrew, Homebrew. Why am I getting this stuff? Everything here is paid for. This doesn't make any sense. What am I doing wrong here? I don't get it. Homebrew is a Mac thing. Can't be something you have to pay for. None of this stuff looks like Homebrew. I don't understand what's happening right now. If you don't have Homebrew installed, then before you start copy pasting the channel, you better check command line to install first. Okay, time to install Homebrew. I guess it's not a what is all this? I don't do by your path. Ruby E curl derivative. Go. Okay. Let's give that a shot. See what happens. Bad request. All right, this is fun. Install Homebrew. I will install it. Let's make sure this documentation is current. Let's go in the past year. How to install packages with Homebrew. Yeah, how to install Homebrew is what I need. This is an easy to install Mac kernel. It's a bit like chocolatey. Huh. I remember chocolatey is something that was mentioned. Chocolatey. So maybe I can use that instead. Chocolatey. Doesn't come up. Oh, is chocolatey for Windows? I think that's a Windows thing. Okay. I think it's a package manager. I think on Windows. It's even a way to install many useful apps that aren't in the Mac App Store. Install Homebrew and Homebrew Cats. First, you'll need to Xcode. You can install a full Xcode application from Apple if you prefer, but that just takes such. It's necessary. So it's giving me another Homebrew command, which is slightly different than the one I just ran. Let's see if that one works. So let's see, Homebrew. All right, so let's see if it's doing something. All right, it's doing something, guys. I got to make a decision on when I'm going to stop this for today because this is taking too much time. I can continue later. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do it now because I'll be here all day. I'll be here all day with this. I gotta go. got stuff to do. I'm actually going to Brooklyn to film my final shots, my final aerial shots with the DJI Mavic Pro. Really excited about that. I want to get some top speed runs, overhead shots, and all that nice stuff. And I got to later to do some other shots uptown. What is going on over there? I just noticed like an outdoor, upstairs, whatever. Stay focused. All right, that's it. I'm done. I'm just gonna stop. I gotta just stop. I just gotta disconnect. Again, I'll just keep going and going and going. I want to get this done. I will get it done. That's not a question of if. I will get it done, but it's a matter of when. And now is not the time because it's getting late. I've already been here way longer than I'm supposed to. Yeah. So now I got to, that's one thing I keep losing my windows on the Mac. I got to learn this interface. Like right now, I'm trying to find the window for the stream. I have all these windows open. Let me do the multi-window thing. I don't want to do that. I'm normally used to on Windows, I can mouse over the buttons on the bottom, and I can see what's open, like all the Chrome windows. I can see all of them. But with the Mac, there's this way where you can see all the windows. I don't want to do that because I don't know what it's going to show on the screen. It's a live stream, so I don't want to just be showing up everything like that. Here we go. I found it. So I got to get used to finding my windows. You know, it's just a little bit confusing. So let's stop the sharing. All right, guys. All right, Nick. So I will continue. Nick says he enjoyed learning with me. Thank you. I enjoyed you here. Hopefully, I can get this done later on today. It's going to be because all the way out to Brooklyn, film down by the water, then take a car over to Far Rockaway, film on a strip there, somehow get up to where the parade is, a big parade going on right now, 1 million people, get some quick shots of that, 20 minutes or whatever, and then blast out of there, back here, finish this up. Oh no, before I finish this up, blast from there to here, go uptown to film some side-by-side tracking shots from the water, through the water, and me on the board flying downtown. That's the plan. So, and there's even a problem right there. I got to watch my batteries. I got 3 batteries, 27 minutes each. The first shots, I will probably take up, it shouldn't take me 10 minutes. Let's just give myself, let's just be safe. So let's say I take up 10 minutes. So I've got a battery that's half done and 2 that are full. Then I go to the Far Rockaway. I do the same thing. So I might finish the same battery. It's low flight, so I can running the battery a little bit lower. So maybe the same battery, I can film the Far Rockaway. If I get the shot right away, then I'm done, get out of there. So I still have 2 good batteries to go for uptown. So I go to the parade, hang out for half an hour, 40 minutes, with 2 full batteries. If I'm quick enough, I can come back here and charge one of the batteries. So it's going to be tight. It's going to be very, very tight as far as batteries, but I'll do my best. All right, guys. CPU squad.